Hi everyone, Stepan here with another training game. My opponent is 24-46. Yes, and he played a move. I'm gonna play the London because he's much higher rated and I haven't played the London in a while. This should give me a reasonable position, whatever he does. And also, I'm not too happy when I get the Queen's Gambit accepted. Sorry, I keep getting notifications about messages on leeches. I'm not too happy about the Queen's Gambit accepted yet. I need to figure out what variation I would like to do. And I haven't studied anything properly. So before I can comfortably play d4, c4 against d5, that's something I have to deal with. So if he doesn't insert c5, c3, then the position is slightly different. But then again, if he doesn't, what does he do? I believe c5, c3 is required. This, I'm not going to be explaining London system theory. You can find it on the channel. This is just mainline stuff for now. Okay. So now knight c6, bishop d3, and he has a choice between a couple of moves, unless he plays queen c7, which maybe, yeah, okay, now this is normal. Now in this position, he either plays queen e7, rook e8, or b6. Okay, now I either go e4 or queen e2. But I'm gonna go e4 because I like e4. Now bishop e7 is the best move. And considering his rating, he should know bishop e7 if he plays b6 here. Taking is a mistake and white always has a slight advantage. There are some tricky lines with knight a5 which I don't remember well. Because again, I haven't played London in a while. Neither in a tournament game nor in a training game, but I actually did play it against one Dutch in a training game, but I haven't looked at these lines for a while. So now bishop e7, e5, knight h5, knight g5, bishop g5, queen h5. That's the theory. And bishop e7 punishes e4, but if you don't know the follow-up, then it's really hard to play it allowing e5 with tempo. Still, he shouldn't play b6 then. I'm 2 minutes ahead on the clock. I didn't think about the opening at all. It's move 9, which is normal. I have a lot of experience in these positions, but I don't know why he is thinking. And also inserting, yeah, okay, he found bishop e7. Now he needs to find knight h5. And this whole line works because there is no knight g3. Okay, and now there are a couple of moves. G6 is... sorry, there's G6 here, and then there are a couple of moves. Now I could go queen f3, queen h3, queen e2. In my tournament game against Enat Svitan, I went queen f3, I think. I could also go queen g4. I like queen g4, provoking some more weaknesses. Yeah, at this point I'm not too familiar with the theory anymore. So queen f3 should be the move, I feel. But then again, queen e2 also looks normal. I don't remember what the move is. Queen e2, queen f3, queen g4, queen h3. Queen f3 doesn't allow f4, but I want to go h4 anyway. Queen f3 also runs into tempi down the f file. So queen e2, cd4, f4, or h4. I'm gonna go queen e2. I don't remember. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what the move is. I think against Anna I played queen f3, and that was 2 years ago, and I've been studying the variation then, so I knew this about 5 or 6 moves deeper. Now I'm thinking I go h4 here, and then h5. That's my thinking. So he probably takes on d2 here, I guess. I don't care about this pawn. And I take with the king on d2. Or with the queen. I'm not sure about that either. I think, okay, with the queen probably. Sacrificing this pawn is normal. Like, I would like him to take on c3 and not have d5 later on. d4, d5, d4. All I want to do is go h5 and open the position up. Use the fact that these pieces aren't playing. That's the idea of the line. So I actually got this only once in a tournament game. And we ended up drawing in a position where I had, I want to say +6. I didn't know why. I don't think she knew why. We both knew that she was worse. I knew that I didn't know how to convert, and it was extremely complex. So I offered the draw like a coward. She accepted because she had less time on the clock. But at the time she was the Croatian women's champion, so that I should have played on. But I was a bit stressed. I think taking on d2 is necessary. He cannot lose a tempo. I think if he plays bishop h6, I just go h5. And however, if he takes on d2, then queen d2, and nothing's covering the dark squares anymore. So I think he has to choose between two evils. If I'm him, I would take on d2, because I think it's less harmful to give up the dark squares than to lose a tempo. Wow! Okay, h5. What could possibly be wrong with h5? I'll just play it. Because I'm threatening to win another tempo with hg6. Putting pressure on the bishop. And then if he takes on d2 then... okay, I just recapture. On d4, do I go c4? I think I do. Not because of the pawn, but because of the d5 square. For once, I'm ahead on the clock because I'm putting pressure on my opponent. This never happens. Okay. Now I have to think. So now knight f3 makes a ton of sense to me. bringing another piece into play. I could also consider playing bishop h4, but he could go queen, oh, he could go g5 there. So if I go knight f3, preparing bishop h4, and then trying to play bishop f6, that seems kind of deadly. So start knight f3, then go bishop h4, then go bishop f6. But can he go f6 straight away against both moves? Probably. So knight f3, f6, take on g6, that loses a pawn. Bishop h4, f6, take on g6, that loses a pawn. I'm gonna start knight f3 because I want to go bishop h4 without allowing g5. And again, if he plays d4, I go c4. Knight f3 isn't about preventing d4. It's about preventing g5 against bishop h4. And g5 now seems extremely risky because of queen d2. Or h6 and then queen d2, sorry. I think I must have a better position. This is exactly what I remember preparing for Renatsvitan, or for that game and other games. This is the type of position you want. The fact that you're a pawn down is completely irrelevant. Black is basically 3 pieces down, because the knight, bishop, and rook on the queen side aren't participating. My idea is to go bishop h4 and bishop f6. And I feel like that's incredibly scary and very hard to deal with for him. And I may just ignore the d pawn if it moves. Okay, this prevents bishop h4. It also puts pressure on c3. So, I need to get my other rook into play. How can I do that? Queen c7 is probably a very good move. I could consider playing h6 and castling kingside, but that's not something I would really like to do. I could consider queen c2 and playing for h takes g6, f takes g6, bishop takes g6. But I don't think I have enough, and I'm also giving away the pawn on e5. So should I have played f4 actually? I remember that in the game against Renatsvitan at some point I decided to castle kingside, and I was really surprised with my decision. But the justification was that my rook wasn't really doing anything on the h-file anymore. And I feel like that's the case here. He can never take on h5 anyway, because of bishop h7 and knight g5. So castle's kingside. Makes sense. But then again, so does doubling rooks on the H file. But my king would have to stay on where? On F1? I don't know how to get my A rook over there. Unless I can go A4, A5 and rook A4. But against A4 he can probably go knight A5, threatening queen C2, winning the rook. Queen C3. This is tough. I may consider just playing king F1 to be able to play rook E1 and then bishop H4. I don't really care about my C pawn unless it's with check. Okay, I'm playing king F1. Maybe that's a strange decision, but I want to go rook E1. And I want to be able to move my bishop away without losing the E5 pawn. If I lose my E5 pawn, it's not about the pawn, it's about his bishop being active after he plays E5. So I'm not sure, maybe castles was better here. Okay, he wants to go queen C3. Should I defend against that? I don't know. I probably should, because the queen on C3 is actually defending the pawn on E5. So rook C1 seems okay. If he goes bishop H6, I go rook C2. I'm happy that he'd misplaced his knight. I don't think the knight on A5 is doing much. And my next move is going to be bishop H4. Okay, 1, 2. Now again, if I go rook E1, defending the pawn, he could go knight back to A5. But that's what I want to do. So rook E1, and I want to go bishop H4, bishop F6. And get to the dark squares. Does this seem good enough? I may also consider playing knight G5. Okay, I'm going rook E1. I need to defend the pawn. I need to be able to move my pieces. Regardless of whether I go knight G5 or bishop H4, I need to be able to move my pieces. And I could consider, if knight A5, I could consider queen D2. Because that defends the pawn and gets my queen closer to the dark squares. So bishop H4, bishop F6 would actually be scarier. Because I'd actually be threatening bishop G7, king G7, H-G6, F-G6, or H-G6, and queen H6 with mate if H-G6. All I have to do is make sure that the pawn doesn't fall. He has bishop A6 now. That I did miss. I allowed him to activate the bishop. I don't like that. But at least his knight's going to be pinned. Still, I believe on bishop A6 I go bishop H4. Okay, wants to defend a6 before playing bishop a6. I get that. So bishop h4, bishop a6, bishop f6, takes, pawn takes. That seems good. It seems good. And then again, knight g5 also seems good. Bishop h4 is too tempting. I want to get rid of his dark squared bishop. That's the only thing I want to do. Because once I get rid of that bishop, his position falls apart. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I want to go bishop f6. Even if he can move the e pawn after that, I don't care, because with a pawn on f6, I always have mating threats. Okay. I don't understand queen b7 at all. What does it do? What does queen b7 do? Oh, it prevents knight g5? So if bishop g7, king g7, knight g5, he has knight e5? But not really. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm going bishop g7. And then knight g5 with the threat of takes and rook h7. If knight e5, bishop a6, rook a6, queen e5, and if knight e5, bishop a6, queen a6, then queen a6, rook a6, rook e5, f6, knight e6 check. Okay. Now he's in trouble, because if I take on h5, he probably loses. And if he moves the f pawn, I take on e6. If he doesn't do anything, I take on g6. On knight e5 also, I'm stupid. I just play queen e5 check. And on f6, knight e6 check. Yeah, okay, I didn't even have to take the bishop. I don't know how he deals with this. Because if he plays h6, I take on g6 anyway. And he has to recapture. Because if he takes on g5... maybe he could go h6. But I could consider sacking the knight on e6. h6, knight e6, f e6, hg6, threatening queen h6. Rook h8. Doesn't seem like I have enough. Okay. On queen f3 he has to go queen e7 or knight e5. Unfortunately, I don't have queen g4. This is tough, I don't know. King g1 seems like a prudent move. I need to get away from all the checks. So I'm gonna go king g1. It may seem like a weird move, but this always being check is extremely annoying. Most of my variations don't work because of that. For example, queen g4. Okay. Now I was thinking I could go queen f3 here. But maybe there's no need to risk. I mean, he has to go g5 now, after I move my knight. Sorry about this. I could also consider knight f7. Knight f7, king f7, queen f3. King e7, bishop g6. Or knight f7, king f7, bishop g6, king e7. No, I don't have enough there. I cannot give up my knight. Okay, let's save the knight. He has to go g5. That weakens some more squares. My knight's gonna be good on d4. Perfectly fine. If he doesn't go g5, I just take. Okay. Now, should I get the knight to d4 and play f4 immediately? I think so. Okay. He wants to trade pieces. I get that. But can I get away with queen f3? Queen f3, bishop d3, queen f6. He has to go king g8. Yeah, I don't have enough. I have to take. And now queen f3. Now I go queen f6, rook e3, rook f3. I have 96 check tricks. And if I win the e-pawn, I think he is in a world of trouble because my e-pawn is going to move forward. I'm a pawn down, but my knight is vastly superior to his knight. So is my queen compared to his. I would say the rooks are equal. And my king is much safer. So definitely compensation for a pawn. He should have taken with the rook on a6. That way he could have played queen e7 in this position. Now he doesn't have queen e7. I don't think that's a good move. So he has to go king h7. And then I go f4. So check, king h7, f4. Maybe I have something more precise. How can I get my knight in there? Okay, let's do this. And then either f4, knight f3, or rook h3. I like f4. I really like f4. I'm gonna go f4. My plan, if he takes, is rook h4, rook g4. Very simple plan. And if he doesn't take, my plan is to go f5. Or take. What does he do against rook h4? I don't know. My plan is to go rook g4. Checkmate on g7. If rook g8, I take on f7. Okay, let's get the last rook into play. He wants to go rook g8 on rook g4. So I need to actually threaten to take on f4 and take on f7. Okay, I'm taking with the f1 rook. Oh, he's gonna go queen e7. I'm an idiot. He's gonna go queen e7. No, why did I do that? Why would I miss queen e7? Idiot. I should have taken with the queen. Yeah, now I'm just worse. Oh, idiot. Yeah, I'd completely missed queen e7 now. So what's a useful move? I don't know what's a useful move. Let's go king f2. I'm such an idiot sometimes. Yeah, I'm just much worse. Why did I allow queen e7? I believe that this was the only good game I played recently. I had the initiative, and then I just allowed the queen trade. Still, we're gonna fight on. His king isn't safe. There's still chances after g4, g5. Ah, this was a bad move. Why did I go king g3? I shouldn't have gone king g3. Too far away from his pawns. Okay, remember Rubinstein, he gave up pawns in order to queen. But does that work here? I'm trying to prevent rook e2. That's the only thing I'm trying to prevent. And if he goes rook d2, I go here. That was my idea. Man, I could be better here. I could be better. Well, not now. Why did I do that, idiot? My plan is to go knight check and push the h-pawn, because I don't see a way for him to stop that. If he goes king e7, that is. Because I have two passed pawns. They're pretty quick. This should be winning for me. I might still screw it up because I have no time on the clock, but it should be winning. Maybe h6 was also winning, but this seems more winning. I should have thrown in rook a7. Yeah, I should have thrown in rook a7. Yes! Okay, I finally played a good game. Ooh, why did I miss queen e7 though? Okay, I'm gonna say good game. Woohoo! Okay, let's analyze. This is... whoa! I'm very happy about this game. Okay, so the theory here, we can open up the book, is knight h5, knight g5, bishop g5, queen h5, g6. Wait, queen e2 is the only move? I couldn't remember. Let's see. I don't think queen e2 is the only move. I remember looking at this. No, okay, queen f3 definitely I didn't play. Queen g4, maybe I played queen g4. Okay, but okay, luckily for me I played queen e2. Now, okay, h4 correct, bishop h6, wait. Yeah, actually this is my game with Enad Svitan, but I think bishop d2 is still better than bishop h6. h5. All theory, this is all theory. And then king f1. I played it on the next move. King f1. King f1 best move, yes. Okay, rook c1. I played the best moves. Okay, bishop h4 the engine doesn't like. Wow. King g1. I played it later. Why is bishop f6 so bad? Because of bishop f6. Oh, he has queen f4. I'm such a moron. He has queen f4. Queen b7, yeah, was a strange move. Takes. Okay, still king g1 was best. Takes, takes. Knight g5 blunder. Why? I had a win here? I played king g1, which is the second best. But h6, king g8. Where is the win? Ah, queen, rook h3, rook f3. Okay, king g1 is still okay. h6, knight f3. Knight d4. I'm still better. I should have played f4 without taking, but okay. Queen f3. Queen f6. Knight e6 worked? Okay, I still don't get it. Let's see, he tries to get out. Yeah, I just pick up everything. Okay. Still 96. Now it's even worse. Now it's even worse. Because he cannot take, he gets mated. I'm such an idiot. Ah, I ruined the position. I allowed queen e7 and I didn't play knight e6. King f2 blunder. Okay, let's see where he went wrong. Yeah, he shouldn't have allowed rook f7. I don't know why he didn't play rook c7. Let's see if I messed up the endgame. Okay. Everything seems reasonable. e6 is better than knight d4, so I was thinking... Yeah, he doesn't have rook d2, I knew that. Knight h6 is fine. e6. Rook b8 best. Yes! So this was my thinking. If he goes king e7, then I have knight f5 check. And if he takes, let's say he takes, then... Okay, yeah, then I would have knight d4, but I wouldn't play knight d4, I would play h6. I didn't see knight d4, so... And then I don't know how he prevents me from queening. I don't think he does. Okay, knight f5 check. Okay. g4 check. King f4 is correct. Everything is good. I should have gone g6 check. g6 is the cleanest, but I played king f3. Yeah, okay, now there is no more hope. I'm just gonna queen my pawn. I'm so happy. Even though I missed like 5 wins, I still won in the end. Yes. Okay. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.